when I was still around with my mentor, as well as my family growing up. I knew this was a line of work that I was eventually going to get into. Again, I'm still not really happy with what the others decided to go about with risking so much. Because, again, it's just something in Innistrad where nobody's going to be willing to sacrifice themselves for this kind of work, not without some kind of pay. We need to quit making risks like this. Or at least, if any of us make it out alive.
We went down that cellar basement. I'm not sure what it was, but it opened up into this weird labyrinth. Super confusing. Half the time I didn't even know where I went. I'm really glad that I made those marks with the coal. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure we would have been just absolutely lost. There was this human. Well, I guess they were human at some point. Probably. I'm not sure, but after reading that book, it might have been the daughter of Mr. Hillcrest. Maybe we can, fix this, but I'm not sure how. There was no intelligence anymore, no humanity.
I wasn't expecting to come down into this dungeon or anything, not with some plan. Actually utilize my skills that it's been too long. Maybe a part of me never wanted to use them because if you show that level of intelligence or other things, people have questions. Now here I am, standing. I smell vile, putrid things down in this dungeon as well as my own blood.
And, to top it all off, some fucking abomination, I don't even know what that is trying to kill us. I mean, the others got it pretty good, but I had to patch up some of them. This thing, if I was on my own, I don't think I would have lasted even a second. But we made our way somehow through this labyrinth and reached this weird arc that was probably the same that was mentioned in the journal, the one that does weird things. Had the abomination was there too. I don't know what it was doing or if there was any sense to it, actions, but it's there and now we have to fight it, I think.
I hate to admit it, but maybe, just maybe, I don't want to say I was getting some kind of hope, but I was hoping to at least get to the next town so I could find who I was looking for, but if that's not going to happen, then may he forgive me. Damn it.
Acrio is in the front, but everyone can see this second chamber in past these two massive statues with their altar-like offering in front of them, these organs that are on fire but don't really seem to be consumed, at least not as fast as you would expect flesh to burn. Acrio is only 15 or 20 feet away from this massive arch made of, he would guess, a limestone, knowing what he does about masonry. It is ancient and it crackles and sparks with this arcs of blue and red lightning and obviously some kind of magic. There's no portal. It doesn't seem to lead to anything, but this bovine-like creature, wounded as it was, ran into the center of this arch and the electricity, the magic, whatever source it has, started to bolt into this creature. It seems to expect it as it turns around, and you see its body expand, changing somewhat. It grows in size, but also mutates. Its shoulders broaden, the hooves split, not quite like fingers, but not hooves anymore either. It is strangely more human and yet more beastly, cow-like at the same time. As it steps out of this arch, its eyes intelligent, but still monstrous, and somewhat glassed over and pale, as if it's primarily used to subterranean lack of light. It stares down, all of you kind of lined up in this space, falls down on all fours, and you see the hand-like, almost hooves start to scratch at the stone tile floor. And at the top of the round, Amrita, the one who has taken the most damage, bleeding as she is, and seeing who she does down here with you.
Yeah, I imagine as she's briefly staring at this monstrosity that is before them, she, in the midst of her own blood and everything, catches the sight of Jan's son Dimitri, and just her eyes widen. No.
In front of you, you can see as Acrio still has the spell he had cast on his hammer, maintaining concentration on this radiation from the flight of Gold Knight. He adjusts his hammer, and you can see his one good hand starting to frantically pull at the straps on his shield, making sure that that is held high in a defensive stance, guarding you and the rest.
I'm going to say that she will take out her bow and, in this conflict moment, shoot at the beast, putting the fire sword at her side so she can move over to where Dimitri is afterwards, but not before trying to shoot at this beast.
You are able to make a shot.
Tasty.
A highly accurate shot. The fact that you are wounded, not close to desperate, but the pain still surging through your arm as you pull back the string and loose it, drives you a little bit further into a more precise shot.
Watch Acrio's back and goes over here in this direction.
Some of you have seen, others not, who is in this next room. Most don't know what's going on when she says this and moves to the side, away from the creature. Amrita, you can find this room with slabs of meat, butcher's tools out on the table, and hanging on the southern wall, there are these, like a rack of a cow's ribs, still with all the meat hanging on them. It's cold in here, cold enough, you think, to preserve the meat. There's, racks of them along the wall, and in the center, you see Dimitri Yond hanging from his wrists, bloodied, but you can tell it's dry and old, as if someone had roughed him up some time ago. He doesn't look perfectly healthy, and he's certainly not conscious, but your advanced hearing can pick up the faintest heartbeat.
That is also
And
good.
Valerie, you are left to decide what you're going to do about that. Standing there with the torch in the midst of this.
Hearing Amrita's like, yeah, I have Acrio's back, just kind of looks at the freaking abominations like, sure.
She probably didn't specifically mean Val, but it's in a rush of a moment in the adrenaline. It's just like...
You will move over to Acrio for now. And just because he is our first line of defense and Rita ran away, he will use his drops of healing, quickly load up a syringe, kind of looking at Acrio, kind of making him aware that he's, doing something before kind of just giving him sort of a health shot and giving him some temp HP. How much?
It's difficult to find anywhere that you can. That you're sure you're not going to hit
just
metal.
Opens the visor, just fucking right in the eye.
In the face.
Yeah.
Silco it up.
Probably, like, if he doesn't really find anything, he's probably like gonna do it like on the neck, like actually like open the visor for a moment, just like inject it and then close it.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't think. I'm not sure Acrio's helmet has a visor. It's a solid piece, but you can kind of like push up the back just enough to see some skin.
Cool. I'm gonna do that. How much was the?
The basic drops are 1d4 plus 1.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll roll that one. Enjoy those 2 HP, my man.
That might be the 2 HP that save his life. We don't know. We'll find out.
If he lives with 2 HP, we know who to thank.
At the end of your turn,
Bad.
this cow beast is going to use one of his mythic actions.
Cool.
Rearing up
legendary anymore.
slightly, still on all fours, the forelegs bending almost more like the way human arms would, rather than a cow's. Rears back slightly, and it is going to bellow and scream in a way that shakes the foundations of this entire sanctuary. And I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
Cool.
I gave Acrio my temperance seal, so he would have.
Gotcha.
I
We'll
would
see how
use my
that goes.
Yeah, I'm going to use my reaction to help him on that.
Should he need it, yeah.
I'll see. I can see what he rolls first.
He actually uses that reaction, should he need it. The user of it,
it
you
says the
grant
user.
it.
I thought
the
I
user.
would have to use it. Okay.
No, that would be him. Let's see how he does.
Okay.
He's gonna help, unfortunately.
Yeah, hold on to that one, buddy.
Being so close, the first line of defense.
If he fucking runs away, I switch.
Leaves Val in the middle fucking lurch.
Oh my
No.
God.
Good luck, buddy.
Cillian, Asuriel, and Acrio are all going to be incapacitated until the end of their turn.
Incapacitated. I was like
that's
floating around
cool.
frightened.
What the fuck? That's so much worse.
Lorelei, with a natural 20, what is it about this that in this situation she's just not even going to?
It would probably be seeing how it affects everyone around her. Like, she can probably see like Cillian and Asuriel start to just like freeze, and then seeing Acrio freeze up ahead of her, she's like, shit, like it's not a luxury that she can afford right now to let this affect her. So she's just like swallowing it down and like, nope. Pulling the classic, we'll put a pin in that. Just hold on, okay? And I'm gonna step into this room.
Mm-hmm.
Shimmy
Cillian
over a little
and
bit to the side.
Asuriel both like clutching their heads from the sound of it, and just even this close to them, you can hear the accelerated heartbeat, like it's thumping out of their chests.
As she's walking, she's gonna like gather up the shadows from around the room and sort of thinking about, sort of internalizing how this creature has basically just frozen most of her entire party solid. She's gonna try and just redirect some of that fury and send it back at him, and I'm gonna cast Ray of Enfeeblement on the big man. And yeah, I'll do half damage with weapon attacks that use strength until the spell ends. I don't know how
Very
effective
nice.
that's going to be, but I imagine because it's big, it will be strong.
It does not seem the most lithe or limber.
Yeah.
Gathering all that fury and almost a blackish form of mana leaps from Lorelei, enveloping this creature and dragging it down like shadows.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stay sort of not quite out of sight, but like not in this direct line. Just gonna stand here.
Acrio, incapacitated currently, till the end of his turn. Val, you can see as takes him a moment before he starts to shake it off and raises his head and looks directly at the creature. Not enough time to do anything, however. Cillian and Asuriel both are going to suffer similar situations.
I have a question.
Okay.
You can still move while incapacitated, right?
Yes, you may. Yep, you can move around if you want,
Oh.
but yeah, you just can't really do any actions. So if you guys want to reposition, you are free to do so.
Yeah, I'll definitely stumble forward, like right here.
I'm just gonna.
Just not even seeing anything,
Over
just
there.
trying to get to it.
Yeah. Gonna have to. So at the end of Cillian's turn, actually, this creature is going to, let's see. It charges through the room, slamming into Acrio as he's trying to maintain a defensive position, swings at Val and charges toward Cillian and Lorelei. All 4 of those creatures can use a reaction to make either an opportunity attack or to try to avoid taking some damage and being knocked around by this thing. It's up to you.
Yikes.
6
So Val is quick enough seeing this coming and using Acrio as a shield. You're able to tuck down and around, and as this thing's weird muscular arm swings at you, you are out of the way in this flurry of rage.
Then I might just go for an attack.
It's made with advantage as well.
See if it crit.
See if you crit it. See if you crit it.
Mhm.
See if it runs directly onto your sword. Let's go!
Cillian, as you lunge forward with the weapon, get smacked in the head and the horns hit you in your chest, but you'll find that the damage is not nearly as bad as you would think it was with this massive creature barreling toward you. So you are only going to take half of this damage. So 3 points.
Hey? Acrio did it to me.
Saboteur!
And given what Tristan had told me he would be doing, even though I suspect he'd probably make an op attack in this moment, he said he was going to be defensive at the start, so he was going to attempt this dexterity save, just because that's what he had told me he was going to try.
Makes sense.
Oh.
Unfortunately,
No
not going to
angelic
be
seal
able to
for
make
that, my
it,
boys.
Oh dear.
and have to make a concentration check on his weapon, which is also going to fade. Asuriel then gets to move, and it is the creature's actual turn, as it is going to gore every creature within 5 feet of it with its horns.
Okay, yeah.
My raven fever
How
don't
about
mean
that?
shit. Is my raven
This
fever
will
helping
be-
this?
This is a strength-based thing, so that will be
I will-
reduced to half just automatically because of the spell that is on this creature.
I think because I had inspiration shield checked, I would use that. Okay, as the matter.
Twinsies.
So everyone, again, it's only going to be 10 points. This creature is moving with purpose, but at the same time you see this magic causing it to move slowly, almost just at the point of impact, slowing down a little bit, not able to push through, follow through on its attacks. However, I will need Lorelei to make, with advantage, because of Warcaster, a concentration check.
Yes. I'm
Mhm.
good. I'm good.
Yep.
Save my own ass with that, because 21 hit points is exactly the amount I just had. I saved my own rear.
And its second attack will go towards Lorelei because it can feel the magic on you.
Yeah, and he probably saw me throw it right at him, so.
That was not Acrio that did that.
Saboteur!
Acrio is
He was working
turning
with them
into
all
a cow
along.
beast.
No, he was working with them all along.
He's eating too much
In
cheese.
cahoots.
In cow hoots.
You're gonna take 5.
Oh my god, save my own ass again. That's exactly how much hit points I had.
That will do. At the end of its turn, it will also try
Make
to
a con
end the
save.
spell.
DC 14. No!
Hey, at least
Kept myself,
that wasn't
I kept
on its
myself
attack.
alive for 1 round though, so...
Amrita, you are
Amrita.
now stuck in the middle of this carnage that's happening behind you. And this person in front of you that you were attempting to investigate. What is she going to do?
Yeah, feeling in this moment, she kind of gets distracted with everything. She kind of turns around and sees how everything is playing out and grips her fiery blade, and she will also go ahead and transform into the werewolf.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The second transformation of this night occurs as Amrita also grows in size, not enough to destroy her clothing and armor, which has been specially designed, but fur, claws, fangs extending from her. As you can see her, some of her wounds almost seem to be creeping closed slightly, but still weeping blood.
An attack with the sword, since that has the rite of flame.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sword-wielding werewolf.
I don't have multi-attack yet, but when I get that...
Oh, when you get that, it's all over. It's
yeah,
all
it's
over.
all over, yeah. She kind of like goes in like this hazy state and goes for the throat, imagining just as if an actual wolf would, just like ripping something with its jaws, but using her sword instead to swipe at the neck.
Mm-hmm. Not deep enough to lop the head off. This creature moves back and towers over you. But you get in a decent slash, and Cillian, you are showered with sparks coming off of this blade. Valerie, you're kind of close for comfort.
Yeah, but he will try to get this thing's attention and do the help action. Slap its rear like you would do with like a cow to shoo it away, and kind of just try to, shift its attention back to him as he kind of stands there. Lorelei is still looking fine-ish, right?
No, I'm bloodied.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
she's
cool.
very bloodied.
I am rough.
Okay, change of plans then. Moving around this thing, you're gonna get 8 points of healing.
Thank. I'm still bloodied, but thank you.
So he moved 10 feet. He would still try to move, I guess. About here, just to, see if the thing is dumb enough to kind of fall for his taunt and kind of follow him there. And yeah, that will provoke. Like, still definitely being audible to, like, come get me, pretty much.
Right.
With his voice.
Yeah, and it will use its reaction as you move away, just because. Well, I think
that is a miss.
Just barely, you like crawl on the ground toward Lorelei, applying this salve quickly, and then like tuck and roll away. This creature's horns slamming into the ground and like scraping and busting the tile next to you as you're able to move just out of its reach.
Feeling what it can do to me, even when it's half strength, I am afeared of this right now. And so I would like to... No, I'll leave the Angelic Seal on Acrio, because I'm going to disengage and I'm going to move back over here with Asuriel. Like, tuck into this corner. Out of sight of it for a minute. Just to catch my breath.
Again, it like swings an arm in your direction, but was too focused on Val to do anything.
Yeah.
Get very close at all.
I will use my Channel Divinity to path to the grave it as I back away from it, and just try and gather those same shadows from around it and try and just hone it to like weak points and just be like, someone hit it, and I will make it vulnerable to the next attack's damage.
Ooh, yes, sir.
With advantage, and its back turned.
Vulnerability.
Acrio is going to take advantage of that.
Crush
opening.
it, my son.
His instinct is to go for two hands on the
Oh.
hammer, but can't. Shield just locked in and just rears back with one hand, swinging with everything he's got, probably screaming to the roof.
Crit, 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 crit. Aw.
It's a 19. It's pretty close, but
So close.
We'll see it so far.
this creature is going to be vulnerable to this damage.
Yeah, boy.
Solid hit, more fire crushing into this thing and sparks flying off of it as this massive hammer crunches into its back, snapping one of its ribs. At the end of Acrio's turn, this creature is going to use one of its mythic actions to swing back at him with his horns. However,
Nice.
Acrio is very fortunate this shield is in place, holds it up, and you guys can hear his boots skidding and getting pushed back on the ground, but he holds in place.
Right. While moving, he goes in for the first slash with 1/2 of Argon. 7 damage. That first, then swing around, try and stick the other one in the upper thigh. For the offhand. An extra 2. And then since it's used its reaction, I'll run into this corner. Trying
Are there any
out.
Parkour.
any Whales of the Grave going to be added to that?
I don't have any left, so no,
Oh,
sir.
you've used them all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
Jake
Yikes.
wondering like, why haven't you guys used your
You
resources?
make long rests so
Use them all.
stupid.
You know,
Why haven't you used this
Just
thing that you
curious.
don't get back yet? My resources.
even
sir.
still, stabbing both legs, you start to see this creature's its blood starts to pour out its legs, pooling on the ground, and there are these snaps and pops of red and blue in the blood.
Oh.
That's so good.
It's got 3D blood.
Gross.
End of your turn, it is going to do this yet again, swinging at horns back toward the shield and one of this weird split hoof-like hands at Amrita before it charges forward toward Lorelei and Asuriel.
Spicy damage, that's what.
Bro.
Yeah, 8 points of damage. Acrio is going to also take that because he wants to make an op attack at this point now.
I should have made an off attack. Too late. Oh man.
Well, there's absolutely no way I can make an off attack because I don't even have a weapon.
Just hand shove it.
I
You
was
know?
about to say, just punch it in the snout.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
a good
Acrio,
idea.
unfortunately, goes to swing again, but just as he does, the horns of this thing punch him in the gut, splitting between some of the splint armor and shoving him back somewhat.
Isn't it with the advantage that hit?
Yes, thank you. Same thing though.
Not
Worth a try.
Sadly.
Oh
And
my god.
Acrio, you can also see with that, is now also bloodied.
Hi.
Asuriel,
He's
Ooh.
there.
attempting to tuck and roll, also going to fail that as this creature is going to slam her back against the wall. You're going to take 8 points. And what's
I have-
Lorelei's?
I have just
decision?
one question. It's called an opportunity attack, but it's not mechanically an opportunity attack, is it? Because as a warcaster, I can cast a spell as an opportunity attack.
I'd allow it.
Okay, cool. Because it's not a roll to hit though, is the thing. Would it have disadvantage on the save against it?
No, I mean, it
Yeah.
in the same way, if you had advantage on an
Yeah.
opportunity attack for some reason, and you cast a spell, it wouldn't affect the spell for some reason. So,
You know what? Fuck it, Moon Silver Flail. I'm just going to try and bash it upside the head
all right.
as it comes to me. I can't dodge it again. My luck's ran out.
Wait, your concentration. Aw, man, your concentration got broken, so.
Oh my god, yeah, but well, I need to hit
But
it.
unfortunately, does
Yeah.
not hit. This, as it's slamming Asuriel up against the wall and you swing, it just backhands you.
Let's go with, well, actually, first of all, I need to get my sorcery points back, so I'm gonna spend that phone of magic. Get those sorcery points back.
As you are pinned against the wall with this creature's horns, the light starts to emanate from within you, this bright silver white from your eyes and your mouth, and you feel the mana restoring to you. This creature actually like moves back a bit, staring at you, and you see its bovine snout just start to bellow. Does anyone understand demonic?
I do.
My eyeball does.
Why do you know demonic?
Sentences you never thought you'd hear.
'Cause,
My eyeball does.
Yeah, I know.
Then it's broken, but both Amrita is translated and Asuriel understands something along the lines of light not belong here, or white has no place here, something like that.
Oh. Interesting. You know what? Since it said that, I know it's gonna fucking hate this, so I'm gonna, gonna go there, squeeze past that 50 feet of movement, I think, and, I'm gonna cast Moonbeam. Right on top of it.
Directly on top. Okay, cool. So then at its turn, it makes the Constitution save against the moonbeam as it is standing directly in it.
Does it unmythic it because it's changed shape?
It's not quite that kind of shape changer.
Oh. It's not shape changer by trade.
No.
That is a success. So it will
Okay.
take 6.
Half radiant. Cool. Yeah. Just gonna have to happen here.
Don't say that.
You get it yet? No, you don't.
Jeez.
Not even a healing word could have saved you. I'm really sorry.
Okay,
The fuck?
pull up.
Can I barter with you?
In what way?
Holy shit.
What plea would she make to the angels?
She would beg them for just a moment left to carry out the will of the angels, and she said she will sacrifice she'll sacrifice every angelic seal she has and her moon silver flail if it means she can just live through this.
Okay, we shall see.
Like, it's just like, take everything I have. Well, that won't kill me.
So yeah, you are going to be reduced to 0, obviously. The horns puncture into you. Your hit point maximum is going to be reduced by 9 points. You drop to the ground as this one of the horns slams into your stomach and you are just slung off the side of it. You hit the wall. I'm gonna say you kind of flung this way, sliding down the wall. You are prone at 0, but you are still going to maintain consciousness, though you are incapacitated and cannot stand up. You just barely clinging to the world around you. And you feel like you're not, like, your entire world is pain right now as you're just reaching out for Bruna.
I have healing. Just for the
The
next turn.
creature then, yes, it will move back into the room, following the scent of bleeding creatures, and is going to attempt to gore both of them.
Thank goodness.
So I need Amrita and
Holy shit.
Acrio to both make a DC 18 dexterity saving throw.
All right, I have my resilient hide and the other thing.
Ooh.
Oh!
Oh!
My sacrifice is not in vain!
Acrio, you're going to take 8. Amrita, you are only going to take 4 because you are resilient.
Oh, wait. I have 10 hit points, apparently.
Yes, you did have 2 temp HP, so be sure to reduce those first.
Ah,
Yep.
got 7 HP left.
As both of you are battered, able to move just in time to take the brunt of these attacks. Amrita, in her werewolf form, massive black furred, holding this flaming sword.
Wisdom save.
What are you gonna
real
do?
Quick. Wisdom save real quick because I have to do that, I assume.
Mhm.
So. Oh shit.
I mean,
Rage on this
the most
thing.
obvious target in front of you is the one beating at you, so that's
Yeah.
going to be the thing she pretty much has to attack. So you don't really
Yes.
have an option. Just that feral nature takes over.
Yep. I'm gonna do 1 claw attack.
That will hit, actually, because it is bloodied as well.
Fuck you. Yes. She just like sinks it deep, like right into the neck where she had like cut it with the sword before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the feral, like the blade, flaming blade drops, but the eyes still go and everything. It's like, you want to spill someone's blood? Spill mine.
Getting close to desperation, both these claws ripping and tearing at its flesh. This thing is again going to scream and bellow and rage and anguish. I need everybody to make a DC 18 wisdom save.
Oh, fucking
Sorry,
hell.
that's incorrect.
Including me? I'm already incapacitated.
Yeah,
Okay,
Mine
you're
is.
Yeah,
Oh, actually.
Good luck, Val.
Oh no.
Good fucking luck.
Love that.
I will need 'em.
yeah. I think Val's the only one who's not incapacitated right now.
God.
I'm
Okay.
gonna
You don't
I'm
allow
gonna use my
transferring of inspiration, do you?
I'm
No.
gonna use my inspiration to reroll that.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Oh.
I'm also using my
I was
My
gonna say, do you have any
Favored.
hero points left, or favored the angels?
Yeah,
Anything?
just favored by the
yeah,
angels.
favor of the angels.
Favored by the angels will definitely help you out there. You
Oh,
only
yeah.
need one.
Yes. Anything would. Yeah. Anything you can add to it would make you succeed. So.
Yeah, it's a 2d4, so there's no way
Yeah.
I got it.
Exactly. So, yeah, Val and Asuriel, the only ones not absolutely wrecked by this baleful scream, and you see carnage in front of you.
Yeah, and this is, this is taking him back and not in a good way. But he saw Lorelei go down. Can you run in between like the legs of the statue? That seems like it's big enough.
Even doing that, you can get.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can get around it.
Sick.
Yeah. He will move up to Lorelei, kind of just hold her up, kind of prop her up against the wall for a moment, kind of looking for a vein and just kind of injecting some healing.
As he picks her up, she just murmurs like, Acrio?
Shakes his head and doesn't really pay any more attention to it right now, kind of focusing on getting her up. 8 points of healing for you.
Thanks.
And seeing as that was his bonus action, where's this thing looking right now? Is it just kind of looking all over the place for, new targets, or what's...
It's probably still more focused on the two in front of it.
Mm-hmm. As Lorelei kind of comes a little bit back from there, she can see that Val's eyeball turns bloodshot for a moment, going this intense red color as if the eye itself has kind of ruptured veins in it, and he will use his evil eye and cast the blood curse cantrip on this thing.
Nice.
Using a Vistani power.
Yeah.
So that.
I guess I don't see that around the corner, but Cillian smiles.
You just feel the vibes.
Let's see.
Not
Yeah,
going
8.
to succeed, so yeah, it'll take 3, and you will as well.
Okay, someone hit this thing. Please. As he just kind of stands his ground, kind of trying to shield Lorelei.
Which in this case, I will have you roll that wisdom save, Lorelei, because
Yeah,
just to see if it
just to
would
say.
remain incapacitated because of that.
Please.
Sadly, yes, you are
Yeah.
still you're healthy, but until the end of your turn, you can move, but you're still prone.
Yeah,
But yeah.
she'll just seeing Val kind of shielding her, she just go, run, and I'm just gonna edge just further down this corner.
Acrio also incapacitated, but you do have your movement still.
Hello. Just battering my shield come on!
Ending your turn next to it, it is going to use a reaction.
Yay!
You are going to be flung 20 feet
Okay.
away. I'm going to say that's over here. You hit the side of the altar and are flung back, and you should make a dex save or land prone.
Fucking shit.
Ooh.
Yep, prone. Yeah, you
Wait, this
bang
is
the
perfect.
shield and it takes the bait, flinging you back just with a scoop of its horns, almost into the next room. You skid across the ground.
Move over here. Stumbling. Fucking thing.
Cillian crosses the room behind one of the statues, wants to hide but can't even gather enough wherewithal to try to be as sneaky as it can. Yeah, at the end of your turn, it is going to use one of its mythic actions. Because Amrita is incapacitated, this will have advantage.
Holy shit.
But she resisted.
As she kind of still is holding on to this thing by the neck and the claws, she feels the pain of the horns suddenly press into her abdomen, and the blood seeps, and her form starts to go back, and the fire in her eyes begins to fade, and she just kind of chuckles as blood runs out of her mouth and through her stomach area and everything. At least I did something right. Someone else might want to get this bastard while I have it distracted. But she chokes on her own blood. Laid on the ground.
Asuriel, who is not incapacitated, what are you doing?
Step back out there and see whatever the fuck's going on. Oh,
Blood
no.
everywhere.
She's gonna say in demonic, be gone, demon. She's gonna move the moonbeam back over to it,
Mm-hmm.
and let's see.
Strong
Does she
moonbeam.
have enough-
Strong moonbeam.
She would just have enough to get to Amrita. She's gonna quicken spell and cast Cure Wounds on her
Hold on
Okay.
for a moment.
second level.
Yeah, hold on for a moment. Gotta check something. Yeah. I'm gonna second opinion that.
Oh.
Option.
Wait, that's such a fun
Actually,
ability, what the fuck?
Actually.
It's increased by half, rounded up.
wow. High level cast makes it 13, so
Yeah,
that would make
13,
it.
so
Oh.
half of that was 6. So you get
Ooh.
19.
Holy
Oh, yeah.
shit.
Still
Let's
bloody,
go.
but oh. Alright.
Whoa.
I'd laugh if I get kicked down again, but for now,
No.
yeah.
Let's see, at the start of its turn, Constitution saving throw.
Makes it again.
That was not supposed to be an advantage, but still the first one. So that would be 6.
I'm gonna die.
I'm in danger.
Yeah, Amrita's still on the ground. Yeah, you've been speaking to this thing.
That's been her whole intention this whole time, to keep it distracted. So,
Yep.
Hi, Asuriel.
Yeah.
Bye.
So it is desperate, but it is going to reckless attack. So this will be a regular horns attack and a crit.
Wait,
If
if
it
it's
hits.
desperate, oh fuck.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Who's that for? The first one?
You.
That's for you.
Yeah, it's always gonna hit anyway.
So it's going to be disadvantage on the minor injury chart. So that's a 2.
Who's probably good?
If one more person loses an arm in this party, I swear to God.
Also, the damage dice is rolled twice and added together, and
Alright.
an additional 2d8 because.
Oh, wait.
So 24
Somehow.
points.
I'm alive. Somehow.
Fucking hell. Beast mode.
And it's gonna make another 3 attacks.
No, but reckless desperation, it does slam its horn into your side, and you feel the upper part of your thigh fracture, and your speed is reduced by 10 feet as your leg is crippled.
Oh no, she's blind and crippled.
I'm gonna say the second, yeah, no, this is what it would do. Both the creatures next to it to make a dex saving throw.
would I be disadvantaged since I'm on the bottom?
Holy shit, I actually did it.
I don't think you have disadvantage being prone.
Okay.
You can still tuck and roll.
That's the
Just
second
failed.
time that happened.
However, both of you are going to
317s.
take half because Amrita is resistant to this type of damage, so it is effectively 8 points of damage to both of you.
I'm still down though. I had 7 hit points.
Oh no.
With a snap to her leg and this creature then flailing wildly and goring at everything around it, Asuriel drops to the ground. Amrita is again conscious, but still also prone next to her.
All right, she's gonna get up and stand in front of it.
When
I don't know what to do here.
Beast mode.
just hit it. Just hit it, my guy.
I'm just gonna
Just hit
turn
it.
back. Turn back into the werewolf and just swipe at it.
If you hit, you do 1 extra point of necrotic.
Oh, dude. If that's what does it.
And honestly, even though it is risky, I'm going to go ahead and roll for the no wait, I already used my damn it, never mind. I don't have that to activate Bard of Flame again. No! Oh, it'll be alright. But yeah. Rage and claw attack, let's go.
That will hit.
This time she goes for its legs.
Having been deep cut by Cillian's silver blade, you go for the same wounds in your beast form, staring down this hulking monstrosity, digging your claws into it, the evil eye of the Vistani cursing it with a little bit more necrosis that follows behind your claws. How do you want to do this?
Oh, thank God.
Yes!
I'm sorry, I feel like I'm gonna cry. Oh, I imagine in this moment, just this entire time between all the blood and so much thing happening and seeing a lot of the others almost get down, just the wolf spirit takes over and it's like this satisfying slice of a prey in the woods, just taking it down, weakening it till it topples over and the blood just kind of flows onto the ground and in the pool, just kind of filtering into the air, and she just keeps ripping at its hind legs and then gets to the throat until she knows it's no longer breathing, panting.
until it is butchered meat on the ground. We're going to drop out of combat. Asuriel will need to, be assisted.
Stabilizing.
Do you have anything to actually heal her, or just...
No, I can only stabilize her for now. I'm
Okay.
all out of healing.
Lorelei stumbles around the corner like, I've got it. I still have some things.
How long does it take before Amrita is able to shift herself back down to her human form?
Oh, fuck.
That's a good question. God. I imagine she's still kind of standing over where Lorelei is now, but still there, like the blood and everything. She's distracted by it and almost like kind of in this haze before she hears movement and clicking sound, and probably eventually sees a glint in the light of the silver weapon that Cillian has before she snaps out of it and thinks of the other blood that she had detected, and just like, Dimitri, and quickly shuffles down and turns just in time, probably before Lorelei or the others get near Asuriel's body, and sprints over to that other room.
I'm going to have you make one sanity save,
Gosh.
because it's actually supposed to be sanity in this version, rather than wisdom, but yes.
Oh yeah.
So, as Val is moving forward and Lorelei trailing behind him quickly, heading toward Asuriel, around the corner, and see this visage of Amrita just absolutely tearing this beast apart. And just as you come into view, her blue and brown eyes snap toward you. Both of you instinctively shift back, but as she stares at you, you see her like focusing, and the claws begin to retract, and her snout takes on a human face again. Though she is head to toe drenched in blood, she becomes human before letting the beast take over anymore, and you can do your work.
I will cast Cure Wounds on Asuriel.
A second opinion that. So increase by half.
Oh, that's max. Doesn't matter because I'm bloodied. Ignore that. But 12,
Yeah.
so that's 18
Oh.
to you.
I'm no longer bloody.
Lorelei's
Wow.
magic is enough. The angels can seal wounds. You've still got a lot of blood on you, but the wounds themselves has sealed. It looks like Cillian has moved over into this other room. What's going on with him right now?
Mm-hmm. Oh, he immediately goes to that tied up guy. I think that makes sense. So he's just before Amrita gets there, he just wants to say, "Evening, stranger."
You can see he's like mostly unconscious, but as you say this, there's just like a flicker in his eyes as he tries to look up. One is so swollen when bruised that it can't even open. Doesn't have the strength really to reply, but he acknowledges.
We're here. We're gonna get you out. Don't worry. And I imagine, like, right then Amrita shows up.
Dripping blood behind her.
Yeah,
She walks into
kind
the
of like
room.
shows up and sort of.
You keep
shoves
being
past
fucking
Cillian.
terrifying, girl.
It's your fault we got into this mess in the first place. And
Just
she
stop
looks
fucking
upstairs.
blaming me. All right, you gonna help me? And I want to like start just getting him off immediately, or getting him off, untying him, getting him off the thing he's stuck on.
Processing. Oh my god.
Get
He's
him
hanging-
off.
Yeah, he's hanging from a meat hook, not in his flesh, but yes, on the chains and shackles holding him. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh that loud.
Okay, yeah, hang on. Shh. I had a. I'll get him down, but he has to stay tied.
Why?
Because he has to, Cillian. We don't know if he can be
Right.
trusted. It's a long story, but he's Yon's son. I know that doesn't mean shit to you, but it means shit to me.
I mean, no, it means a lot to me. He's Jan's son? That's complicated. Can we at least get him down? Yeah.
Grab his legs, look at his arms.
Mm-hmm. Get him off the hook at least.
Mm-hmm. He's obviously fading in and out of consciousness, somewhat aware that you guys are here, but not enough to really register it.
Well, at least he wasn't friends with Cooper. It's probably why his mom was in town, yeah?
That's to be determined. We'll have to take him, question him later. And she kind of slings him, or tries to pick him up and carries him out.
Amrita, you would recall that the wife of the burgomaster had been attempting to convince what's his face, the captain of Casper. Yes, Casper, that her son had gone missing.
Yeah, I told the others that eventually as well, but it's probably been.
Oh, you did?
Minute, so I'm gonna bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember. It's been a long time, so who the heck knows? But still, there's that skepticalism, even if she won't talk about it specifically.
Sure.
Is everyone alive?
You would find the rest of this room is obviously set up as like a butcher's, not a butcher's shop exactly, but a workshop. Everything you would need for processing meat is in this area. And you can see that trail of blood that you all had followed leads from this room to another that you wouldn't remember, but you all did see where there was a pile of bones that had been stacked.
I'll walk up to Lorelei and
she's like half out of it. She's like barely there. I'm fine.
For sure.
poke the hammer against the horn of the beast, and it wasn't so hard. Easy peasy. As he like stumbles forward and catches himself on the horn. I'm good. Okay. Before we leave, what are we doing about that? And he turns around and points to the giant glowing thing.
The arch in the other room.
So he's gonna approach just
Don't touch it.
I'm not gonna touch it.
I'm going to hear it.
What the fuck is it?
I don't know, but it turned that thing into what it is.
Or religion, or history check on whatever the fuck this is.
Either history, religion, nothing, you would know nothing of it. Arcana, you don't even have to roll. You can see the blue and the red mana just like coursing from this thing, sparking off of it.
I'm gonna look at Amrita. Head, take it. It's our prize.
When he turns around, though, he sees that she's holding the unconscious man.
Yeah, someone you had never even seen before. She just has a dude over her shoulder now.
Surprise!
A friend?
Not exactly.
Wait a minute.
Might know something.
At least it's some answers. Probably.
What do we do?
Yeah.
It's still not really over.
Let me
Well,
see
it
what I
isn't.
can do. And I'll walk between those two. And I will grab the pearl. I need somebody strong with me. Just in case. 2 people. If you're not strong.
I mean, you can have me, but yeah.
Sorry,
not the strongest.
over here with me. And I'll start
Alright.
casting with my pearl detect magic as a ritual.
Okay. Yeah, typically that's for identify, but you can use it to focus on detect magic as well.
Yeah. Identify. I'll do identify because I already know it's fucking magic.
So you have to touch an item to identify it.
I'm
For the full casting of a minute.
Maybe you get cool mutations too.
No.
You get your arm back.
Oh god. But it's like not a human arm.
No.
No.
I don't need to know what this is. And I'm going to take my hammer, walk up to the side of the stonework, and rear up and just try and start smashing the stonework with my knowledge of masonry to try and topple the structure.
Okay. Yeah, make an attack roll and add your masonry tools proficiency on top of that.
All right. I only have.
You are
Can I
only going
somehow
to be able
use-
to do this with one hand.
Yeah, I just realized I only have one hand to.
Yeah.
Can I do the help action, sort of help him try to see weak points?
How adept at masonry and stonecraft would he be?
Not very.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I don't know that he would actually be able to help much.
Plus masons, what would that be?
I think it would just be a proficiency unless you have expertise with it.
So that would be 14.
This arch is supported by 2 columns before the upper limestone part kind of is braced, and then atop it. In the arch
could I
form.
guidance myself on that? Because I am preparing to attack it.
Sure.
Yeah. 4. Okay.
So that would be 18.
Yeah.
The first swing cracks into one of the columns. You see it splinter. You see some of the rubble fall out from it. You are hit with this concussive wave of mana that just bursts off from it, that Cillian and Asuriel almost have to catch you as you fall back. You start to see the lightning intensifies. It's zapping off of it. You go in for another swing. You can feel like static electricity building up in your helmet and like zapping off of you when you move at certain angles. Slamming into it again, Asuriel, your hair starts to kind of go frizzy, getting more tangled as the electricity is building up in this room. But with your precise knowledge of how this masonry is designed and supported, and the guidance that you've called down from the angels, one more swing crushes into it, the column buckles, and the whole thing collapses. You kind of like shove them both back as everything falls, and the mana begins to fizzle.
Back, now, get back! And I'll just fucking turn for it and just fucking get everybody behind walls.
Cillian is relatively turned on.
Yeah, so I'll get everybody into the side rooms before this thing looks like it's
side
about
room.
to
We're going in side
explode.
rooms. Side rooms.
Yeah. Val, what?
Side room.
You all duck into these side rooms, expecting almost this like slow burn and then massive explosion. That never comes. You do, however, see on these altars, held up by these, standing bovine type creatures, the organs on them start to burn up more quickly, reducing to ash.
When you say more quickly, in like a,
like normal
unnatural-
speed of
okay,
something that would
okay.
burn, yes.
So not like unholy something shenanigans.
Not like
going on.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Didn't explode.
That's an advantage.
You feel okay, Acrio? You didn't absorb anything from that?
Pat my body, make sure I'm not a cow.
You still seem a little bit tighter in your armor than you had been before, but other than that, it's, nothing. There's no horns that have formed, no snout.
Still me. All right. Are we looking around or are we just leaving?
I want to look around.
Maybe we can still find something to save for.
Yeah, there's got to be something.
More
If we
to be
haven't already
seen.
done it like this.
I will say, Cillian and Val, the room you had ducked into and the one that Asuriel starts to kind of peek into, this room is full of like little burners, glass vials, paperwork and notes sprawn out over the table. Clearly, Val, you recognize alchemical equipment for testing. there are some like pots on the side with plants that have been grown into them. They are long dead and dried up now. There are samples of animals that had been like flayed open, tested on, but the whole area it's not exceptionally ancient. Like these are modern tools, but it's got a year or so of dust built up on it. Nobody's been messing with this in some time.
Okay.
And take a peek at the notes. I'm not touching them.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking.
Oh, but reading them. Good.
They're not arcane in nature at all. It's handwritten notes about things that have been sent into the Arch and what happened to them. Primarily, you can get the impression that people, as you had suspected, that had went into them were transformed into cow-like things, close enough that you couldn't tell the difference in the meat.
Oh no.
But with
Dear God.
But with several tests having been performed and these creatures existing, it became necessary to dispose of them somehow. And so they were utilized. Before that became a more common occurrence. You find that there are notes of the bones, rather than just being buried, were ground up into a bone meal, used as fertilizer, which helped the crops grow far more quickly than normal, which is one of the tests that you kind of like recognize off to the side with the plants that have been grown in the pots. You can kind of like look in the dirt and get a little bit of like the bone meal still in the soil, dry as it is down here at this point, having not been, tended to obviously in some time. But nowhere in them is there any way to reverse the process. You find they even attempted to take a regular cow and put it through, and that seems to have produced the thing that wandered this space. It changed it into a more human-ish type thing, but still nothing resembling what someone had been before the change.
Alright, well, alright, since nothing is arcane here, I'm just gonna start gathering that shit up. And I'm just gonna burn it. Because nobody's ever gonna do this shit again.
We might need to prove what he's been doing. Townspeople won't just believe our word. And I don't think a cow head will be enough.
Asuriel, this is evidence.
Nobody should ever know about any of these things.
If they know what he's been doing, we might be allowed back in Silburn.
They don't attack us on sight.
The priestess is still there. She might have some sway. If we can just ask to talk to her.
She's not dead because of fucking worms.
She didn't go there on her own.
Take the notes, Asuriel. Don't burn them.
If we get to Silburn and they won't listen to us, and we have to leave, maybe we can burn them then. Just not right now.
Yeah, she'll carefully fold everything, put it away in a little satchel.
Did she tell us about what she read in those?
Yeah, she did, definitely.
Okay.
Well, not before, but like this is bad.
I will say,
this is really bad.
Asuriel, because you are proficient with calligrapher's tools and you have some recognition of handwriting, you can tell that these notes were written by several different people. It's not just one hand.
Do I recognize Cooper's handwriting?
You recognize some of them being written in the same scrawl that was at the very end of the diary that you had found.
Alright. Let's hope that's enough. Should we go back to that cow?
I'm going to go up to the destroyed portal and do a little bit of charcoaling on paper to gather up the shapes of the runes, shove those into my book.
You would probably recognize them as being demonic scrawlings, etchings, even though you don't know what they say or really what they mean. Just visually, you can kind of tell what they are.
And then I'll take a chunk, like the smallest chunk of rock from the door, put it in my backpack.
Yeah, it is limestone primarily in its construction. Old, obviously, but it's different stone than the rest of this place is made of. However, you do know that in this region, limestone is something that is quarried, so it's not implausible that it had been moved down here from somewhere local, if not constructed in this location.
What else did you say was in that one side room then that the others went into and found the
Dissected
notes?
animals and shit.
Yes, yeah, there's dissected animal corpses, most of which are either under glass or rotten, plants that are in pots, long dead, as well as lots of beakers and glass vials and tubes and everything that someone would need to perform like alchemical tests.
Yeah, I'm going to take that stuff after investigating. And does any of this look something similar that she would have seen her mentor conduct at all, or anybody else?
What are you doing with the body of Dimitri while you're looking over this?
I'm gonna jump.
Put it back on.
If there's a nearby chair or something or a wall, because she doesn't want him to go anywhere, even if he is unconscious, just gently slump him.
There's some stools here, so yeah.
Yeah. And kind of just gather these supplies.
Mm-hmm. They are very similar to the things that you would have seen Garrick working with. Like I said, they're modern in their design. They're not ancient alchemical supplies. They're within the last decade of modern science.
Hate the trouble of almost dying down here. Might as well take this.
Can I have you make a perception check really quick, Amrita?
Yeah. Advantage or no, because this is just offhand?
This would be an advantage because it's using your hearing.
All right.
As you're collecting up all of these objects in this room, ones that you find useful, picking through some of the stuff is like either too big to carry with you or just not something you would ever find a use for. Gathering up what you can, you start to hear a quickened breathing, kind of a heavy breaths. And as you turn, you see Dimitri just try to lunge himself off the table and start crawling on the ground. It's clear he doesn't have any idea who's around him, but you watch as he's like trying to get away from whoever it is that's still got him captured.
Sprints over and just quickly grabs him and puts him up against the wall. I suggest you stay put unless you want to go further in this dungeon and die.
Slammed up against the wall, like one of his eyes he still can't open, but he's like, you, this can't be real. You can't be here.
I'm afraid it is, whether you like it or not.
I'm gonna poke my head around the corner just to make sure everything's okay. Just like put my head around.
How clawy is
yeah.
Amrita right now?
Just make sure, the bad cop's not being too rough.
She has her gloves on and like this calm and collected face, but not really backing down. But she just has him pushed against the wall, not where it's being rough, but she's just staring at him.
If we were to finish the job these cursed rangers try to start.
No, it wouldn't be an unfair thing. And also, was only your father in the beginning that I was after, not you. Whether or not you're like him is yet to be determined.
Seems to process that, considering without replying. Would you at least let me down?
As long as you don't go anywhere, maybe you can answer some questions for us. I also know your mother happens to be searching for you.
Looks around the room. Did she hire you?
Not quite.
To no avail then. You let his feet touch the ground, and he's shaky as he tries to stand up, obviously very weak, but gets his bearings.
Hear this conversation, or is it like hushed?
He's not being quiet at all.
Okay. Probably gonna move into the room again, then just kind of assess his injuries, patch up any damage that he can at the time.
Can
Apply
Amrita
some
shove Av
painkillers.
back before he does that?
I was about to say, I don't know that Amrita's going to allow him to look too close at this guy. You would be able to see from even a distance as she holds you back. Most of this guy's wounds seem superficial, bruising, and mostly on the wrists. He's probably been roughed up a little bit, but he's not. There don't seem to be any open stab wounds or anything that.
Thought he was just fucking beaten to shit.
No, enough to knock him unconscious, but not. He's not on the verge of death,
if
per
it's
se.
Literally just superficial, then he would have probably just kind of looked at the wounds from afar.
The rest of the group, it seems, exploring this final chamber of the of this underground sanctuary. You find these sarcophagi with the tops of which are carved into these humanoid-like forms with steer heads, horns carved into the stone. One of which earlier on Acrio had opened up and found a mutated skeleton inside. You would suspect this is probably the same situation with these.
How old do they look?
Very.
Alright.
It's hard to tell exactly, how many decades, centuries. It's been a long time. Obviously, there's signs that people have explored this in the recent past. Hard to say exactly how far back, but these things go back a long time.
Do we know when Silburn was founded?
You guys can make a history check. Anyone who would consider that.
I don't know if Lorelei would know. She's not very
I'm so
historical.
stupid. I hope I fail this. God damn it.
God damn it.
Oh boy.
So it's fairly common knowledge that Silburn is one of the first towns that was founded after humans crossed the Gaia Reach from Gavany, made it across the mountains, which was a treacherous journey. Paths not really ever been created. Originally, humans kind of blazed a trail. This would have been pre-vampiric era even. So it's one of the earliest towns that existed in this area. There was a silver deposit found in mines in the mountains not too far from here that has long since been, run dry. But when the vampires did eventually conquer Stensia and eventually even the other parishes before the Church of Avacyn became a dominant force, Silburn was one of the few towns that never fully fell to the sway of the vampires, despite the fact that they are so close to the Markovs. It's waned through history at times. It's obviously a very small town even now, but it's never been nobody's ever assumed, there's something, evil about Silburn or anything like that. But they've always existed closer to vampires than maybe humans should.
So it seems like this is younger or older than when Silburn was
This
founded?
would seem either it's probably pre-Avacinian, definitely, possibly pre-vampire.
Okay, it's good to know. And then we're indeed just exploring side chambers, see if there's anything useful.
Yeah.
You would probably find some embalming tools.
I'd like to go
I'll
to
keep 'em.
these. I'd like to go to these statues. You said the organs had like started to burn up. Have they completely gone by now, or are they still?
Yep, they would be ash basically at
Okay.
this point,
I was going to decompose.
or at
anything
least
that
a
was still there.
charred husk. Yeah.
Yeah, just to make sure nothing else could be fed into that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then reconvene.
In the center.
Yeah, and Rita's probably gonna slowly just bring him out though, but just looks at him a little bit longer with this conversation between the two of them. It's amazing how you made it to Silburn, I'll give you guys that. But there's some questions I want personally answered, and maybe you can answer them for me. But first, we're going to get out of here. As I said, I don't think you want to try anything funny and dwell. I'm probably your best bet right now instead of those ranchers.
Will there be anything waiting for us if we try to go back up?
We're gonna find it.
You're asking me?
No, not necessarily. More to the group. Because, you know, there is a farm up here owned by the fucker that experimented with this. I'm just saying, maybe we ask our questions now.
Val just kind of writes, with an arrow pointing as he like holds it towards Dimitri. Witness, evidence.
At least no one be coming from any of us. Only. Can I just ask a quick question now you're here? How the fuck did you get here? What did he do to you? Why were you hung up?
Don't honestly know for sure, but I don't think the meat down here is entirely only cows.
Does he look like he's lying at all?
Not really, no.
Roll a nat 1 and know that.
Oh, you just came into town, got blindsided somehow, and ended up here?
Same thing happened to him that probably happened to everybody else that was a traveler come to town.
Oh, the bandits. Right.
I wasn't accosted by any bandits, but kind of holds up the shackles since I'm not going anywhere. After my father, the late burgomaster of Korsava, was murdered by yours truly, gestures to Amrita and Lorelei, we packed up. We knew it was supposed to have been a hard fight. He wanted us to be safe in case things didn't go his way. They did not. So we traveled north. Seemed our best bet. Ghost was gone. There were things on the road. We were hounded by undead, some kind of zombie horde. Lost most of our supplies and we're trying to regroup here.
What became of the girl? I know what your father was doing in the mansion. There was somebody else beneath.
You don't know a thing about my father or what he was doing.
I know that he murdered an innocent girl's family and watched them burn in hell's flames and did the same to people in Korsava.
Maybe so, but you have no idea why. So don't pretend you do. And don't talk about my sister.
If she was your sister, then why did you... It doesn't matter. Left her
No,
alone in that
it doesn't.
The sooner we get out of here, the better. and figure it out from there.
Are we even sure we want to take him with us, Amrita? He just admitted that he's not against what his father did.
I never joined that cult, the Veiled. That was not something I... He had his reasons, but they're not my reasons.
We're not killing him. He's a
Oh, no, it's
fucking
strongly-
person.
Yep.
Were you there when all of those ash creatures rose out of the streets? His father did that, and he's here like, oh, that's fine.
His father.
That
He
kind
comes up with us.
I know there's history here, clearly. I mean, the tension is mwah, but we're not killing him.
I never said I was. Proper judgment will come later. But
Who's
your
gonna give
father
that
and Ian
judgment?
deserved it. Somebody else. Now let's get out of here. And she shoves Dimitri.
I'll
forward.
tell you one thing.
Dimi-
The only one who makes judgments in this town is Cooper Hillcrest.
If you
I
are
Hopefully
don't
not
know
for
how
long.
you intend to deal with that. I want to leave. I'm going to get out of this town, get my mother and sister, and we're going to go.
I think we're moving.
Yep.
I want to stay very close to Dimitri, in between,
Say,
like Lorelei and Amrita, if possible.
Oh, Amrita just like holds on to him, like keeps him close just to make sure he doesn't get away.
Okay, then I'm just on the other side.
yeah, Val kind of shifts in between Lorelei and the others, kind of keeping an eye on him.
As you re-enter the labyrinth, are you attempting to branch off into unexplored areas or follow the marks of the blood trail?
Follow the
Max,
All
please.
the, yeah, marks.
I want
I
like
don't know where our tokens are.
I want like a Venn diagram of everything we missed afterwards.
I
But
don't
yeah.
care right now.
I do.
I want to live, sir.
Yeah, just we'll head out.
Yeah.
Maybe pick up the cow first.
I already got the head.
No.
The
Heather.
living.
Yeah,
On the
that's
way
on
out,
the way
yeah.
out.
You are able to make your way back. Won't necessarily have you move your tokens, but you'll find the secret door that Amrita had opened has closed itself, but where the blood trail kind of like went under the wall. However, from this side, with a little bit of searching, it's not hard to find the mechanism to open it from this direction, which allows you to pass through, and then after several moments of non-combat and intensity, you can hear behind you as it slowly shifts over the stone and closes yet again. Following the marks, little scratches in the stone and the chalk that I think both Cillian and Val had left to try to make sure they knew where they were going. On the various corners, you pass the room with the pile of bones, human with cow heads and that sort of thing kind of mixed in together, down to the room where you had left the creature formerly known as Heather Hillcrest.
The artist formerly known as Heather.
Still cow-fied.
Yes, you find there is a cow laying on a soft rug in this room with candles lit,
And
still obviously
looking
adorned
freaky.
in kind of child's bedroom kind of furnishings in here.
She hasn't changed a bit, has she?
Cooper clearly loves her. We're gonna need to use that. It's gonna be
Take
fucked up.
notes.
Yeah.
Val will just kind of draw closer. Is she sleeping again or just lying there?
She appears to be sleeping.
Okay,
Kind like shifts when you move closer.
Okay.
Kind of wakes up, but yeah, just turns the head and then lays it back down.
Okay.
Can you
Yeah, he would have.
identify a person, a cow?
I mean, with a shot, right?
I need a minute. I look at everybody, and I'll walk up, crouch, and gently place my hand on the cow, and I'll do ritual cast Identify. I want to try and see if I can see something wrong with her.
Okay. Clutching onto this pearl, searching for the inner magic associated with this creature. You can't find a curse. You can't find almost barely even the trace of a human soul. There are fragments there, but nowhere near the surface. You do get flashes of memories. You feel the exhilaration of being picked up and spun around, your legs kind of like going out from beneath you as you are twirled, the rough feeling on your hands of calloused fingertips as you feel yourself reaching up to them. You see the arch and what feels like your own hand reaching out toward the glyphs on it before you start to see it change. And that's almost where the memories start to end. There's still fragments after that, but it doesn't process the same way a human's would.
I have the story here, but nowhere to fix it.
Sure, he's tried. Right. Let's try and coax her up, yeah?
Yeah, well, we'll try to kind of get the cow to stand up.
Make an animal handling check.
I'll help.
Okay.
Cast some guidance on that.
Okay, 18.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Having kind of followed Val around the room earlier, it doesn't take much with the assistance of Acrio and some guidance to get her to stand up and walk around you and nuzzle her face against your leg. Or I guess your side, because she's rather large.
Yeah, Belle would just kind of head her all the while and then kind of just look at everybody to kind of indicate that she probably should get going.
Mm-hmm. Let's go. If we emerge and we're faced with Cooper or anyone, let me talk to him first.
You are the personality.
I try.
It's going to be very difficult to get a cow to utilize stairs.
Val is pushing all
It
the
requires some shoving
way.
and a lot of coaxing, because you've got like 3 or 4 sets of switchback staircases that go back up to the surface.
Not easy on the legs.
Yeah, eventually though, you will make it up. What's kind of the marching order for this?
I guess I'll be first.
Val and Heather probably in the middle somewhere, I reckon.
Lorelei's in the back.
Yeah, I'm behind Lorelei. Giving her a hand. She looks rough.
Making sure I don't fall down the stairs.
Yeah. Amrita will also be toward the back.
Behind Acrio.
I'm in the back. No, I'm in the back. No, I'm in the back.
So I'm forced to be in the middle now because the dumbass sorcerer wants to be behind me, and Amrita also wants to be behind me. So now only Val and Cillian are in the front.
Well, do you really want me to go in the front?
Not in the front, like, I don't know, in front of me or something. Because I'm at the back.
Cillian and Val walking up with Heather like, what up?
Like, where did everybody go? It's like, no, after you.
We're just faster walkers because we've traveled so much.
Yeah, plus I have 20 speed now.
Oh shit, yeah.
Her leg
Yes.
isn't working.
Yes, still limping quite heavily. Asuriel will not be able to keep up quite as well. Although with the amount of prodding it requires to get Heather up,
No, it matters.
It doesn't. She's not that difficult to keep up with the group. As you reach the inside of this dairy processing barn that housed the smaller structure, the entrance down to this location, Cillian, you start to hear voices. And you look out the window and you can see Cooper on his porch with several of his ranch hands kind of gathered around. His son, Big Tuck, still wearing this like breastplate and a leather apron and has the head of his stitched bovine mask kind of held at his side as someone else is kind of like looking over some of the wounds and burn marks that you guys had inflicted on him.
So we're inside this building and they're all outside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll just turn to the group. We can try and sneak, but it's not gonna work. I can sneak out and try and distract, or I can just walk up to them and start talking.
There's no guarantee they're not just gonna attack you on sight, though.
No, but you'll be close by. I think the best gambit is just walking out there. I think we've got enough leverage with her.
Lead with
Went to
her.
the count. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. Oh, playing high charisma is nerve-wracking.
I've come to bargain.
Dormammu.
Has some preemptive guidance on him.
I'll
Sure.
go up to the door and just open it.
Then I
Is it
will
evening
you
or
guys.
morning?
It is very late at night.
Okay.
You can see that there are torch lights lit around the farm, some smaller campfires and that sort of thing. But yes, I will move you guys to show you what you can see.
Oh, another
that's,
battle map.
Battle.
That's people.
Oh, you had like a battle map set up for this. Okay.
Do not lie.
So Cillian,
Yeah.
as Cillian steps out the door, rather brazenly, as confidently as he can, all eyes shift and turn toward him. Cooper, standing up on the deck, kind of cranes his neck and looks out over you. It's difficult. He's still wearing the hat, but with the torchlight shining up from beneath him, his face isn't quite as shadowed in the same way as you're used to. It's almost eerie. What's this then? Here I was collecting up a cleaning crew. Maybe there's a story I need to hear.
Of course. There's always a story you need to hear.
What have you done?
Well, I think you can sort of piece most things together. And listen, Cooper, I know what it's like to love your family. All right? And I know what extremes I would go to. So I don't blame you for, I don't know, fucking her. Whatever the fuck was down there. I think your hands know. And I think deep inside you know how fucked up it is. And I don't want to threaten. I'm not the kind of person, but I've got your daughter here, and I stick a knife under the cow's throat. I'm 1 inch away from killing her, Cooper, and don't think I won't. I just ask one thing in return. I want an audience. I want us to be able to talk to the people of the town. And since you're their great leader, I'm sure you have nothing to worry about what us outsiders have to say. Listen, there doesn't need to be any more bloodshed because look at us. We killed that thing down there. You will lose. And you don't deserve to die for loving your family. I just want to talk to the town. That's all.
you would see the front door open up and this long red-haired woman kind of start to look out. Cooper raise his hand. Go inside. Go inside right now. She starts
Mrs.
to
Hillcrest,
say
just
something.
in time. Please look upon the face of your daughter and weep.
She looks kind of back and forth, confused, like not quite processing what's going on, before Cooper's like, get inside. And she starts to shrink back. You've got no idea what I would do for my family, for this town. I would tear the feathered wings off of every angel in Draven if it means prosperity for us. But I'm not going to let you hurt her. So say your piece, here and now. I see wounds on all y'all. I don't want to make them worse, but don't think I won't. If you even cut the hair on her, I swear to everything. Nobody needs to leave this ranch tonight.
I completely agree. We can all stay alive and well. You know what's down there. You've experimented. Everything for love. Well, it's no more. That's one thing that's for sure. We took care of the thing in there. I'm sure that was a problem.
Arch.
Well, the fucking...
It's over
What did
there.
you say?
Puts his hands on the railing and kind of leans back. And it seems we are at a crossroads. The thing that had kept this town fat and happy is no more. Not a lot of reason to keep doing what we've been doing. Kind of looks at the ranch hands around him, his son perplexed and a little bit like almost on the verge of tears because he doesn't know what's happening. So I ask again, what is it you've got to say? Which way are we diverging on this crossroads?
We don't plan on staying here. We won't be in your hair. And I'm genuinely sorry for the trouble we've caused. I'm sure you think this was okay. And I almost admire you. I think there was some worth to what you're doing, but look at what it cost. And I point to his daughter.
That was my cost. Everything that came after was trying to fix that.
Well, did you?
No. The biggest failure I ever made in my life was letting her go down near that damned arch.
I know what it feels like to lose a daughter. So I know.
I think I can see it in your eyes. Seen that in the mirror a few times or two.
And I'm sorry for the pain we're gonna cause this town by not keeping them ignorant, but ignorance is never bliss. I know that. Just keeping your eyes turned and hoping everything will be all right because there's enough food. I just don't agree with it. And I'm sure a part of you doesn't either.
There is a food chain in this land, and boy, we are not at the top of it. We have to survive.
I know.
You call it
I know.
immoral when a wolf has to eat her pups over to survive a long hunter's moon. I don't like it, but I can't blame her. If it means a few strangers, outsiders, gone missing, I don't like it either, but it kept us alive.
I've always been an outsider. I know them like the back of my hand. They deserve to live for not making any mistakes, for wanting to come to your town, maybe wanting to help, like us.
I don't know if I agree
sorry.
that anybody gets to deserve to live in Stensia. Those who deserve it are the ones who do. They make it happen. We've made it happen. But as I said, that time is behind us, it would seem. Now the question is, how much vengeance is coming down on anyone around here?
Never wanted anything but to help. Everything that's in my heart right now is killing the things that's fucking up the graves. I'm sure you know, because you know everything.
About y'all digging up my daughter's grave.
We were
So
hitting
yes,
something.
I do want to see that dealt with. I've already
And we
informed
will.
Casper, but the Cathars haven't been able to do much.
We will try to help with everything we can. I promise you. Make the town as strong as it can be to face what's coming. But have the people know. I don't necessarily want them all to know all this. You can stay the fucking ruler for all I care. I just want them to know what they're facing. I don't want them to sit and get lazy and one day die. And they will. Because you're right, this is Stensia, and enough food and enough happiness is not enough to survive.
The unfortunate downside of prosperity. People get lax. I've watched it happen. Kind of looks at his men around him who are obviously wavering a little bit, but continue to look back up at him. We're gonna have to tighten our belts, boys. Nose to the grindstone. Crops aren't gonna be growing like they have. Herds aren't gonna be as fertile. Not gonna have a surplus no more. But I believe we can pull through.
As a token of good faith. And I'll release his daughter.
She doesn't really seem to go anywhere. She didn't really understand the threat.
Would just kind of push her into that direction to get her moving.
Starts to move forward some, yeah. What's everyone else doing in this moment?
Yeah. No, Amrita she squints her eyes and like looks to see if they might try anything from a distance.
I mean, you can see that some of them have crossbows. They've got like basic farm implements, you know, things that could be used as clubs, a sickle for harvesting wheat and that sort of thing, but they're not brandishing them in kind of a threatening way. It's more like if they need to use it, they will, but that's kind of on you. Or if Cooper commands it.
Oh, just kind of a hostile look on Asuriel's face.
Lorelei like kind of hesitantly takes like a half step forward, just like looking at Cooper, seeing if he's even like giving any kind of order to anyone, or if he's still in limbo. Cooper, I hope you know that when we went down there and we found her, the first thing we were trying to do is fix her. We were trying to do that.
I don't reckon you'll understand. That's all I've ever wanted. But it's not possible. We are where we are now. We've made the best of it. I thought maybe her sacrifice, as it were, could at least make this town a better place. I don't know if it has.
It still can. Doesn't have to end here.
Doesn't.
Make a deal with y'all. Compromise, we'll call it. You keep everything you saw down there Everything you think you know about what's been going on, secret. Nobody else needs to know. It's over. It's done. It's gonna be hard for folk. They're gonna need a strong hand. Mine is the strongest, whether you like it or not. You can go in and tell those people, get some of them angry, if even those in town have the capacity for it anymore. You could tell the church, come down here and burn down my ranch if they want, but that's not going to help this town. You keep it quiet, and I'll make sure you're as welcome in Silvern as you'll ever be.
Kind of turn to the rest of the group with an eye raised, and I'll
I have a
say,
counterpoint before we leave. Daughter's got a shattered soul, but it's still in there. I saw it myself. Saw her memories too. Damn, did she love you.
I know.
Do you trust the church? Can you trust me just this once? Let me take her and bring her to the church in Thraben. And maybe they can piece her back together.
Make a persuasion check.
Ooh. Ooh, that's a...
And I'll allow, if Cillian would help, I would allow you to have advantage on that because he's been kind of softening him up.
Advantage?
Oh,
14.
fail.
There is an apparent hesitation. He has to consider. He looks over at Big Tuck, looks into the window of the house where his wife is, almost like pressed against the glass, trying to see what's going on, trying to hear, trying to understand even what's going on in her fractured own mind. Give us a day, at least. If I'm to say goodbye to my daughter, I want to do it right. I don't want to do it in the dead of night, covered in blood.
Fair be it. We'll go back to town, rest, do what we need to do. We'll come back and have something to cover that face of hers. And we'll bring her to Thraben.
even if you decide no, we'll ask around. If we find anything, we will send it to you. I hope you get your daughter back, Cooper. I hope she gets to live. I hope your town gets to live. For now, we'll help. And you can hate us all you want. I think that's fair. I don't hate you.
Come up here.
I do?
On the porch, if you would. The ranch hands kind of like step aside to let you walk up the stairs. Say it to my face.
I do not hate you.
And we've got ourselves a bargain.
Yeah.
You'll know if I hear anybody talking about this in town.
We know.
There's a sudden movement, and you're almost going into a defensive stance before you see his hand held out.
I shake it. Cillian has a flimsy handshake compared to him.
It's stronger now. Your grip is actually more than you would have thought.
Oh, right.
The hand of someone who has been at the plow and the the whip his entire life is almost crushing. But the pact is sealed. And it only remains for you guys to uphold it. And you are welcome to leave at any time.
Before we leave, are there like any places in town we should see, like things to check out, you know?
Cillian.
Pretty things? I'm sorry. It's just, we'll leave. And Cillian goes to lead the way. Lovely farm you have, by the way. Just
Thank you. I hate
slowly
you
walking
so
up.
much.
Pause.
Do you have like a hotel that you guys like stay in? Like, I'm just a tourist.
Yeah.
What's Acrio doing with the head of the creature that he has slung over his back?
Oh, he's
Oh,
just.
shit.
Oh, yeah.
Can't tell anyone.
Yeah. Just have to leave it.
I can decompose it.
I'm gonna walk up to Cooper. I'm gonna sling it over down onto the ground with a loud thud. Should keep your crops growing for a little while. You know, I thought I was gonna get a great reward for it. A wonderful night. And I tip my Cathar hat.
You sound like a stinzier boy. You ought to know that this land doesn't yield rewards.
Did for me 10 years ago.
Consider yourself blessed.
I do every day. And I pat the cow, say that I'll be back for them tomorrow, and head off with Cillian.
As we leave, I offer Asuriel a piggyback.
She has more health than you!
Yeah.
She has
And
a
a
broken
fractured
leg. My
leg.
legs are fine.
Cry about it.
I'm offering her the
Yeah.
piggyback, not you. It's my back.
Then I offer Lorelei a piggyback while piggybacking Asuriel.
No. Anyway,
I'm
Asuriel, would you like me to carry you?
Oh wait, I only have one arm.
no, it's fine.
Are you
It's
sure?
just
Ow.
yeah, just
Ow.
hurts a little.
Ow.
It's just she's like trying to hide. It's like I'm that Lorelei's offered, just like trying to hide the limp a little bit.
Amrita kind of comes in last, kind of still having Dimitri close, but after everything that's happened, has the grip loosened some, but stares at Cooper Hillcrest. I'm taking this man with me because if there's one thing in common that I know someone else has with you, they wouldn't want their child taken from them. And I'm not so much of a cruel person myself to let that happen, even if they are of my enemy.
We've got no more use for him. But I'll expect he abides by the same deal.
She nods and turns away to walk with him. And then she'll whisper to Dimitri, if you really say you do not want to be like your father, and you were not part of the group, you have every chance to do that, and to keep your mother and sister safe. You can hate me all you want, but I don't regret what I did to your father. He was a cruel man in the end, but if you want to change and not be like him, start doing that.
Make a persuasion check. Noted.
Fair enough.
The DM will remember that.
Yeah.
Everyone else silently making their way from the farm.
Well, Cillian not silently, but
Well, those who had not made an exit.
Vamusen.
You are able to make your way back to the walls of Silburn. As this is kind of the completion of the main story arc, firstly, I want to say that this was a credit where due, this storyline was inspired by a little module called Something Stinks in Stilton, which I kind of twisted to Something Stinks in Silburn. It's like designed for a kind of a first edition retro clone called Lamentations of the Flame Princess, I believe. But yeah, modified obviously for 5th edition, Innistradified. But I really liked this storyline, so I hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
Yeah,
How
me
long?
too,
How long was
a
it supposed
lot.
to take?
It's a one shot.
What? Are you serious?
Yep.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
Strike again.
Hey,
Are other things happening?
all right. I want to
But at
tally.
the-
How many cool things did we miss?
In the maze, really, I mean, there was some more things to explore and like a secret passage or two that you went by, but other than that, there was no real like objects or collectibles or anything.
Yeah. So.
My
As
grumbliness.
this is the completion of the story arc, you guys will have the chance to affect the story from here on out with a D100 roll.
Oh.
So, be thinking about what you would like to see transpire in the future in relation to Silburn and the Hillcrest family and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Shit.
Okay, I have mine
You-
already.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Casper. Turns out he's genuinely there to whip people back into shape. And over the course of like the next few months, as people start feeling better, the tower that's like started to fall over and is like heavily leaning has started to slowly become more and more in repair. There's more Cathar patrols. There's more of a presence. The tower's now further into its former glory as this watchtower against vampires. And Casper's kind of leading the head of that.
Mm-hmm. Would Acrio spend even the briefest amount of time assisting in that? Or is he just hoping that's the way it plays out?
He would help.
Okay. Then I will say you are able to roll a D100 and then also make a Cathar check. What would that be?
Wisdom?
Religion?
Wisdom, probably, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with a religion-based thing.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It seems more
ouch.
religion
That's-
based.
Oh yeah,
That's
religion.
intelligence.
Yeah.
I'm not. Oh, that's as bad as it gets. That does not happen.
Yeah, well, go ahead and unless you roll a nat 20, let's see. For your religion.
Any
Alright.
nat 20s in the chat?
Nope.
So
Yeah,
that would
that
be
doesn't
what,
happen.
75? Keep that in
Yeah.
mind.
Nah, nothing happens.
I would like, whether through Lorelei's help or through some other serendipitous means, for Samantha to find a treatment, possibly even a cure for the affliction that she has. If not a cure, then at least just something to, treat it and
Mm-hmm.
make it comfortable. Because Lorelei did say that she'd help her find that.
Yeah.
Can I affect that with a herbalism? So.
I'll say you can deduct your herbalism proficiency from it.
Okay, cool. Take my proficiency away, that makes it 47.
47? Okay, cool.
For me, I just like the children to be kept safe and get all that education they need and loving parents. And also for Myra to maybe get some training with Priestess Renfirth to, learn some more positive magic.
Oh yeah,
Um,
she needs
that's
to come
Well, it's
specifically-
going to be. I was going to say, you guys may have to decide whether or not you're actually going to leave her here after all. So we'll kind of leave that part out.
Cillian has some plans when it comes to Mara.
Yeah. So, but yeah, as far as the children and everything go, for sure. All right.
Try to help Dr. Mueller as best as possible with, his project in restoring limbs and that sort of stuff. Trying to help him in, any way, form, or shape to complete, or at least make some headway with that.
Yeah, just use me as a test subject.
Yeah, that might be somewhat dependent on Acrio. We'll see.
Yeah,
but
I was just about to say that's the next thing I'm doing.
But yeah, go ahead and roll a d100. I don't know that Val has any particular way to assist, but potentially, depending on the roll, he may make some headway.
Wait, can I use my Constitution modifier to? Not that it matters.
Coolio.
Con save 14.
You lose your other arm.
Nice.
Just puts your left arm onto your right arm.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd love. Yeah, this is like probably only if I roll a 1, but I want the bandits, the bitter hearts, to. I'd love for them to go into Silburn, like be part of and actually, if that's a bit much, just at least they end up on their feet. Being able to take care of themselves, not having to steal to be on the edge of surviving. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Hey, best one.
All right.
So far.
Trying to my idea or something similar, damn it. Because there's really nothing else I can.
I want all the Briarhearts to die. Haha!
That's a D10.
Yes, that's technically 10. Multiply by 10. They all die. Damn it.
Maybe after Dimitri gets back and he's reunited with his mom and everything, they are also able to make a new life for themselves and try to just forget about Corsiva and just entirely remove all of that history or try to start anew in their lives, something along those lines, which is highly unlikely, but yeah, no, I'm not surprised that didn't work.
Big sad.
So actually, we'll go over the results of these next week because we've got back-to-back sessions, but for now it is easily 2 or 3 a.m. and you make your way back to the gates of Silburn, which open up for you without even having to announce your presence. It's not as welcoming as you would think. It's a little ominous almost, but Asuriel, you start to feel a little bit of a tingling sensation in your eye, the one that you can't see out of. You blink and rub it a couple times and a very blurry vision begins to return to it. Very watery, but as you're starting to look around, over time it becomes a little bit more clear. Effectively, the curse is after you have utilized the Witch Stone for its true sight abilities 3 times, you go blind in one eye for 1d4 hours. So you'll have to roll if you use it again, and you will, disadvantage on perception and ranged attacks and fun stuff like that. But you can still utilize true sight, but it comes with the downside of a limited amount of partial blindness.
Oh, and you can see through corn. Oh, wait, no, you can't.
Shut up.
Forgot about that.
She kind of like does this a couple of times, like, yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm more than fine.
Can I just, for a quick second, take credit for that amazing talking I did back there? Because, I mean, if not for me, we'd have all been dead. That's all I'm saying.
No. A lot of people would have been dead, but probably that.
And as much as I hate to inflate your ego, you did a great job.
You did a wonderful job.
Ah, that feels so good. Should we head to the church immediately? Because there were problems there. See if there are bigger problems.
I don't think we can slay a monster right now.
Oh, but we can at least make sure it's not killing people.
All right, to the church we go.
If somebody wouldn't mind, just briefly go and drop this man off.
Yeah, makes sense. If you're okay with it.
Either way,
I'll take him. Grab the little shit.
I meant together. No, just,
Yeah.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
going together. I
No.
thought,
About as
like-
tall
no,
as you
just
are.
just one person. One person. Probably Cillian. He's sneakier.
Where are we dropping him off? What?
Well, I don't really care who either breaks these or picks the locks. Doesn't matter to me.
I'll pick the lock for you after we drop you off.
Obliged.
Yeah, sure. I'll go along with you if you want me there. I've got some real daggers from you today. That's all I'm saying.
Let's just hurry up. We'll meet the rest of you at the church.
As always. See ya. If I can
See
walk
ya.
off without Cillian and Amrita.
Maybe to go then rush after Acrio.
Is Val gonna stick around with the rest of his group for the remainder of the night, or is he wanting to split off?
He would probably split off. I think today's
Someone's
been a
got
day.
a curfew.
He's like, thank God, I'm out
Oh,
here.
yeah. Before we separate, I hug Fel. Thanks, man. And then I'll split off.
Thanks for helping us. I don't think we could have done it without you.
Just kind of looks at everybody. Very slowly nodding. But not really doing much else, and then kind of just trotting back home.
Oh man, is he a joker?
Acrio, Asuriel, and Lorelei, as you make your way down the main street, traveling to the northern end of town, you can all see this tiny beacon of radiance on the outskirts of the graph. And getting a little closer, you start to see the figure of the woman next to it as the end of the priestess staff is illuminated in a similar light to what Lorelei puts on her dagger.
Wave to her.
She does not look back at you. She is engrossed in observation of this graph.
That one.
I walk up next to her.
She almost startles awake. You can see she is conscious, but barely. It is so late. Oh, thank the angels. Where have you all been?
Dealing with something problematic.
I fear
Turns out-
things have become more so here. How many graves did you exhume the other day?
Zoom,
One.
just one.
I believe that is what we had agreed to. Then there has been a problem. I'm not sure how safe it is, but I can show you.
Show us the way.
I haven't seen any more activity from these creatures, however many there may be. I think it may be more than one. Given the destruction here, she will go around to the gate of the graph in the small, like, half picketed fence that is around it, half destroyed in some places, just, from disrepair more than anything else, leading you through the hawthorn trees to a pair of graves that the stones are toppled over, but as she shines the light around, it's pretty clear that these have at least partially been dug up, not from the bottom up. And can I have everyone make a perception check real quick?
Receiving. Bleeding. Can't be shit.
Okay, then yeah, Acrio, you're the only one to notice in the light. There are several blades of the grass here that have blood on them.
The fuck happened here?
I did not witness it. I had almost hoped this was your doing, but if not, my thinking is someone may have attempted to. Well, it seems there was digging happening. Whether or not they have made it out, I don't know which is worse.
Immediately, eyes of the grave, as I'm looking around here.
Mm-hmm.
See if there's anything undead that pings up.
It's like where you usually kind of get these bright pings. Instead, there's almost more like a very dim presence kind of everywhere in all of these graves, but you think that that's primarily, souls that are in the blessed sleep. Nothing that's undead and active.
Okay. Nothing that gives me cause for concern.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How fresh? When
I
were these guys?
immediately drop down to the blood on the grass and start ritual casting Analyze Blood.
Mm-hmm. It's dried on there, but it's within a day, certainly. I mean, you guys were here just last night, or I guess not last night, but the night before. And nothing was like this.
Roll a d4 and then choose some qualities.
Okay. Cool.
Give me at least 2. Fuck. All right. Shit. Like, Lorelei's clearly, really weak right now, so she doesn't have a full focus in it. And as she's sort of ritual casting this, she looks to Acrio and Asuriel, like, do we want to know if it's nearby or what it is that left this blood?
Ooh, that's a tough.
Maybe where it is?
I can't tell where it is, just whether or not it's within a certain area. Maybe the type. Maybe the type? I don't know.
Go with 1 and stick with it. Learn if it's within 20 miles.
Okay. And I'll see whether or not the creature that left this blood is within 20 miles. I assume it would be, because it's a day old, but...
The source of this blood originally is no longer within 20 miles of you.
Oh, shit.
What the fuck?
That's even more scary.
Yeesh.
It moved quickly.
What do you mean?
I can normally sense if it's close by. I think it's about 20 miles away. It's not.
So 20 miles is the way I do a full day's march, is a 20-mile radius. So yeah, narratively would say it spent at least a day getting away from here at a normal walking pace. It may be a creature that moves even faster, but you don't know.
20 miles? Maybe a day away? Whatever it is,
We're
it
gonna
left.
need Amrita.
Yeah, right, of course. Do I have any vials in my herbalism kit that I can scrape this dried blood into to preserve it? Yeah. I'll gather up as much as I can.
We need our hound dog.
You can
Don't call it that!
snip some of the blades of grass and put them in there with the blood still on it.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
This is worrying.
We need a day of rest. Maybe 2, maybe even 3.
You all do look worse for wear, but I don't think we have that kind of time.
1 day of rest, and we can deal with the creatures. Fuck!
There have been Cathars came out, but they found nothing. Obviously the disturbed earth, but...
Are they still here, or did they go with whatever dug up these graves?
There would be a few patrolling up near the church.
Do you think they might have seen anything?
I've asked already, they did not.
Filled its belly and took off.
Amrita said that it was more than one.
Didn't you say it looked like these had been dug from up down rather than from the bottom up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lorelei shakes her head and sort of shifts the weight between her feet. It's like...
And the coffins are open.
I don't think this is the monster.
Yeah, it's not the monster, but we've got a bunch of problems here. We've got monsters eating corpses. We've got people stealing corpses. The monsters have fled, and whatever robbed these have fled as well.
Stuart's gonna look at the name plaques. If there's
Bob and
anything-
Jody.
Not Bob and Jody. Salty your cat.
You would see that they were buried within the last year. That would be the only thing notable.
They didn't want full corpses, and that's not all we can really say.
Lorelei gets like even more agitated. I have a hunch of what this could be. And I hope it isn't.
Oh, we'll put a pin in that. Just kidding. No, I'm joking.
If you just said that genuinely in character, I think Lorelei would have punched you.
Oh my god.
Okay.
There has to be God's people that watch the town 24/7, right? Someone
Maybe.
should have seen someone leaving within a day. They have to have known.
Would the Briarhearts have known?
Bitter hearts.
Bitterhearts.
He did what I did.
Briar
Wait,
I don't know where you both got briar hearts from.
Briarhearts
No.
are from Skyrim.
Shh,
Yeah.
don't tell them that.
Well, I knew that.
Not other people.
I mean,
For a second, I thought you meant the Briar Woods. And I was like, wait a second, what?
Like, hold on.
Oh,
Vampires.
Okay. And Acrio just like repeats okay as he like rubs his temple.
We should get off this ground just in case these creatures come back.
Yeah, we have to rest. There's no other choice here. We can't go out hunting for whatever's robbing bodies. We're just going to end up corpses.
Lorelei starts like pacing anxiously.
After her like fourth pace, he's like, Lorelei, please.
The
Let's
implications
go
of
back
this
to
are
the
huge,
tavern.
Acrio. If this is what I think it is, this is huge.
I know it's huge. But if we leave, everybody's just going to die out on the road. We need supplies, we need to rest.
Oh, I know that. I'm not saying leave now. I'm just nervous.
And also you can see she can like not even quite stand up straight because of the wound in her stomach that's reduced her HP max.
Yeah.
Okay,
My
everybody,
hanging out.
let's go. Come on. Out of the graph, back to the tavern.
We should at least wait for Cillian and Amrita. They said they'd meet us at the church. Just wait outside the church for them, and then go.
Priestess, tell them that we're at the tavern.
I can do this.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Meanwhile, Val, what's he doing as he makes his way back? I assume to the doctor's office / residence that he has been staying at.
Yeah, he would first kind of check if the doctor's still up or if he has headed off to bed for the night.
You would find that the side room where he has been conducting his experiments has a flicker of light underneath the sill of the door, but it is currently locked from the inside.
Okay, then you would first check, does the doctor have like a cabinet where he keeps all his stuff, like medicine, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of equipment and medicinal herbs, various things that he uses in like a medicine cabinet and supply area.
He's looking for a very specific thing, which is ether. Does the doctor have any of that?
Make an investigation check.
Okay.
Sir, we don't will either.
You would find a small supply, yes.
Yeah, you would take enough to make himself pass out, probably.
Does he get to his room before he starts inhaling it?
Oh, he's not taking it out in the open. This is something very much done is in his room, you know.
Okay, cool.
This is not him just like, sick, fucking popping ether, just
like ragdoll physics on the floor.
It's like, bro.
It's like, yeah,
Bruh.
that's the good stuff.
That shit hits hard and that shit hits fast. But he would probably after that kind of just pocket it, kind of briefly check the doctor's room to see if he's really not in at the moment.
Yes, you would find that it is empty.
Okay. He would probably wait for the doctor to kind of turn in, like stay up for as long as it takes, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even briefly like checking if he like hears any sounds of prolonged work coming from the side room, I guess.
Make a perception check.
Ew.
You really don't hear anything.
Okay. At some point, he would probably knock if the doctor hasn't returned. Like, see if there's any response or anything.
If you knock a few times, it takes a moment, but there's a shuffling of sound before another pause, and then footsteps that approach. You hear the latch click and the door open up somewhat as the doctor's kind of like rubbing his neck, still decked out in his full outfit. His hat is off and you can see kind of some of his hair frizzing, sticking out from under the mask, but rub his neck. Time got away from me.
Kind of just Val looks disheveled, covered with blood anyway, like he hasn't cleaned himself. Just complete mess. But he just kind of writes, you should get some rest.
So should you. Did they survive? Good work.
He inhaled sharply, kind of trying to hold in his emotions as best as possible. So just kind of tries to force a nod.
Dr. Mueller doesn't really wait to see if the waterworks come because he's too tired. Just starts marching up his stairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Val would, after that, probably head off to his room again, kind of wait for probably like half an hour or so to like make sure the doctor's hopefully awake, asleep.
I was about to say, no, he's not going to be awake.
And after that, try to quietly enter his room again, kind of obviously not trying to wake him, but he still wants to peek behind the mask.
When you had gone up your stairs, or the same set of stairs, but to your room, you would have heard the key turn.
Is there a spare key?
Not to his private quarters, no. Not that you know of.
Okay. This is the second story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Val doesn't really have any experience with this, but this is something that is important to him, so we would probably, as unskilled as he is, try to get in the room via maybe picking the lock, if that's a possibility. I don't know how feasible that is with, the maybe the key's still in the lock that makes it very difficult.
Gonna do it one
Yeah, I
handed.
mean, yeah, you can find a pin or needles or something and make an attempt, but
Mm,
we'll see what happens. Basically, just going to be a
Yeah.
dexterity check.
Yeah, let's see how that goes.
Just cast knock. Come on, man.
No problem.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like the key or anything else is inside it, and yeah, you feel mechanisms, but you have no idea what to do with them.
Okay.
And it's difficult with one hand even because you,
Mm,
if you had ever seen any of the Vistani that you traveled with pick locks, which they're known to do, it's typically a two-handed operation.
Yeah. Probably just gonna move up to his room then. Kind of pull out the letter that he wrote. Kind of looking over it before putting it away again, and then just hit some good old ether to get high and pass out.
Even without, he'd have been asleep within 10 minutes, this day being incredibly long and arduous. It's almost as soon as you sit down and smell the stuff, you're completely blacked out.
Fucking
Yeah.
conked.
Doesn't even have time to change clothes, so there will be some bloody remnants on your sheets.
Aww.
Alrighty, yeah, that's probably him for the night then.
Amrita and
Six of
Cillian.
ether. Oh,
Yeah.
Amrita, you know where the remnants of the Jan family had been making a residence, having tracked Villanova through the streets.
Yeah, she just walks mindlessly, but at some point, even though Cillian is obviously there, just kind of looks at Dimitri as they get closer. You probably won't answer me, given the history we have, but did you know?
Recent history being what it is, you more or less saved my life. So continue.
Did you know that your father brought werewolves to Corsica? I'm curious, or if he'd done such things.
He looks a little bit like furrows his brows a bit. I'm aware he had a plan to bring you.
So you knew. Why?
He believed there was something different about you. Something that could maybe be exploited. Well, that went sideways, didn't it?
So it did.
All right, I'm gonna cut in because this silence is killing me. We're gonna go to his wife in a second. She's probably not gonna like seeing you.
No.
Do you want me to bring him in alone? Do you still want to?
I'll watch
Be
from
there.
a distance. I'll watch from a distance. You do it instead.
Mother is nothing if not refined.
It might help bend opinion to be standing there. Wait, let me get these off, and I'll start messing with his chains.
Holds out the shackles. A little bit smug.
It'd be a really funny time to have fucked it up.
Yeah, no, I mean they're just
I know,
shackles. It
but it
doesn't
would've
take
been
you
really
that
funny.
long to.
could roll a nat one. Those things are what, like a fucking. You can pick it with a paper clip.
I'll keep the shackles. Check.
Sure. Dimitri kind of rubs his wrists where the iron had been cutting into his flesh. It's obviously very tender.
I think it might be better for you to be there. If you don't want to, that's fine.
Very well. Not going
Okay.
to lie. Curious.
I am too. I mean, this is fascinating.
You're curious about everything, so that doesn't matter.
And we'll walk to the house.
Well, now I'm curious.
It's an awful feeling being curious. It's a bitch that you're gonna be stuck with it.
I think it may have been what plagued my father. Too many things he didn't know. Probably shouldn't have.
Do you think you feel the same way about stuff?
Not the same things, certainly.
Oh. But it's a pitfall to, I don't know, keep in mind. I just didn't hear the greatest stories, that's all.
He was changed at the end. And I don't know what brought it on. Either himself or Prevarex.
There's comfort in believing it was something else. I don't see anything wrong with that.
You really think it's possible to change that cow thing back to a person?
Well, I believe anything's possible. I've seen some crazy shit. Especially people brought back. Yeah, it can happen.
Pity my father never got that chance.
Grieve for him. Remember him. He deserves that much. If he at one point was a father.
The brick house, multiple stories high, multiple houses all connected kind of in this row of apartments, is all completely darkened as you approach.
We're here.
Oh, you!
Cillian, it's 3 in the damn morning.
I'm sorry. She needs to wake up somehow.
Throws a brick.
Throws my cannonball through the window.
Just throw a sun through the window. Why not?
Takes a moment, and Rita, you can hear shuffling and whispers, not quite enough to make out, but eventually the door opens and this woman in a wool robe, which she has like pulled up tight, opens it. Deep lines in her face, hair like pulled back for the night, and just like this scowl as she looks at you, but it quickly softens as soon as she sees her son, and she pushes past the two of you to embrace him. I thought you were gone for good. I was afraid you might have left us.
Well, he's not. When eventually your eyes though return here, please do not be alarmed. We're here in peace.
She looks at you with no recognition whatsoever, but landing on Amrita, it's obvious she remembers everything that has transpired, and the scowl returns yet again.
We do not blame you for hate. We just ask you to keep in mind that he's here because of us. You can ask him.
What do you want?
He waits for Amrita to say something. He wants to like give her space, but after like way too short,
Information,
he just...
if you can give it.
Information about what? Exactly.
Clearly your son here knows what your husband did about me and other things. Did you also know?
Olrind was a man of many secrets. I can't imagine I know half of them.
Come now, there's no need to beat around the bush. I know about your daughter. Moon, Silver. This should be enough clues to discuss this.
Not on the street, it's not.
Perhaps inside, or at least light of day, where you may be most comfortable. And we can never speak again after that if you'd wish. But I think I deserve some answers. For saving your son when I didn't have to. But I did. Because I'm not like your husband. I don't kill innocent people.
Yeah, she would take her son by the arm and start to kind of like pull him back up the stairs. Look down at you, say, I wonder if you would even know if you did. Tomorrow, noon.
Very well.
And slams the door in your face.
Well, that could have went worse.
I'm not surprised. And she walks a little bit up the street, but finds herself kind of actually stagger a bit and lean against the wall.
I need help.
I just need a moment.
Amrita, are you still angry with me?
You know, I think you were stupid going off in the distance. And after that long speech and everything, I suppose I shouldn't say anything. Since you gave me shit in the beginning and convinced me to stay with the group, but still, you have half a mind to turn around and just... I don't even know. I don't know anymore. I don't know what this is or what any of you are. I really don't.
You don't have to. I hope you stay with us. Can't force you, but I hope you do. I like your company, even though you don't seem to like mine.
You ever play that game where it's 2 truths and 1 lie?
Yeah, all the time. I make up 3 lies.
He would.
All right. What if I just humor you for a second then with the 2 truths and 1 lie? And she kind of like stands and like walks. I think I might just stop closer to the stables first before any further. The church is a distance and my body kind of hurts, but 2 truths, 1 lie.
Mm-hmm.
1, I hate the dark. 2, I'm allergic to strawberries. 3, there's a silver weapon nearby. But it's not so much the silver that bothers me, but it's who held it.
I mean, I'd never see you eat a strawberry. It just imagely doesn't really work. The last one was really specific. The lie, weird lie. So I'm going for the first one.
All lies.
No way. That's my thing. Oh, you're good. You're really good. I never thought you'd be good at this kind of thing.
But yeah, he finds her eyes kind of staring at his weapon, though, and then looking away. You want to know one reason why it would have been easier to get rid of you for? I wouldn't have to see
Why?
those again. Because they were handcuffs that Jan had used against me. And then Lorelei gave them to Acrio, and when I found out she had them, and well, if you have another curse on you, I'm sorry.
That'd be funny. Amrita, don't let Jan have this power over you. Look at these, and I stick one in the ground. These aren't shackles anymore. Don't let him shackle you anymore. I won't turn these on you. These are tools. And if you don't trust me to wield them, I don't know, I'll not use them in a while. I'm fine with that. Just be free, Amrita. Don't care so much. like a weight comes off of your shoulders.
Can I ask you another question?
Always.
Is there a way to not sleep once one is dead?
I mean, yeah. Like 1,000. Thinking anything specific?
Can you make it to where if someone dies that they are unable to rest?
I could if everything goes right. My grandma definitely could. I don't think she would though, because that seems kind of like an asshole thing to do. But yeah, I probably could if I tried real hard.
You say that to not have Jan shackle me down, but I'm afraid I've been shackled for many years. Flames in the night still linger. Another thing to talk about another time perhaps, but that has me curious. And she doesn't say any more and continues walking to the stables.
Asuriel, you start to feel this almost like a pulsating something in your arm. Like you look down and it's like a thickened vein, but then you start to see something crawling under the skin.
She just stares at it for a second, and then very strangely calmly pats Lorelei on the shoulder, and then points
turns back
towards
around.
it.
Lorelei, you are suddenly awoken in your bed with Asuriel shaking your shoulder.
Pardon?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Middle of the night, you are awoken in the bed that you have been sharing at the saloon with Asuriel as she has reached over almost in her sleep and started shaking you.
Yeah, immediately, upright. Yeah, what is it?
She shows her armpit. I don't think that's normal.
You see words almost scrawling, something that's burned into her flesh.
I'm gonna take her arm and look at it more closely.
It looks like something has moved under the skin with a branding iron and scrawled out some kind of message or glyphs or something.
Do you know what this says? Can you read it?
Okay. I kind of want to make sure I wasn't crazy either.
No, at least if you are crazy, you're not crazy on your own. Because I'm seeing this too.
Try and see whatever's on her arm.
It does look like demonic, and as you're trying to read it, Asuriel, Lorelei, you look out over the sunrise on the top of the wall of Silburn as the sun is cresting, and the two of you stand there with a pair of guards. As she's trying to sound out the words, you start to see these figures approaching Silburn. Very difficult to see in the morning light, hazy as it is in Stinzia. But as they approach, you see these bodies completely flayed of their skin, tattered rags hanging off of them. You see the faces have all been smashed in, and yet they shamble forward.
Oh. Immediately lets out a blood-curdling scream.
The Cathars next to you don't seem to respond. One of these seems to be dragging a shield behind it. Another one, though the face is gone, there is still this glow in the center of where the forehead would have been. One of them, smaller than the others, is got some kind of backpack, you would think, almost, but then one of the straps lifts up and you see it's actually this massive spider that is clutching his back as it crawls up over his shoulder. You leap up in bed. You look down at your arm where it's burning, Lorelei, and you see these glyphs scrawled across your own arm. And that's where we're going to drop the curtain on this week's session.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, no.
What does it
First
mean?
of all, that's my son. Second of all, that's my arm.